volunteering with people with disabilities, etiquette for teens. Hello everyone, and welcome to my video. Many of us may be familiar with what a disability is, but some of us may be unfamiliar with how to include people who have disabilities. Just because someone is different, it does not mean that they are any less of a person. If someone is different, we just have to interact with them in a style that they can understand, and sometimes engage in conversations about interests that are unique to certain individuals with a disability. We are going to learn how to include and volunteer with people with disabilities. Not being included can take a toll on one's mental health. Including them in the following ways will make them happy and feel better about themselves. Getting to know them. When you get to know someone with a disability, see them as a person and do not label them by their disabilities. Some of us in the non-disabled population have differences that make us different from other students, such as having visual impairments or food allergies. We do not want to be labeled by our visual impairments or food allergies. People with autism and other disabilities do not want to be labeled by their disabilities. Although we may need to talk to people with disabilities in a simpler style than when we talk to our non-disabled friends, it does not mean that we should treat people with disabilities any differently than our non-disabled friends. Introduce yourself to people with disabilities the same way as you would to someone who is non-disabled. Get to know people with disabilities by asking questions about their interests, classes, jobs, and other things about them. Share them about yourselves so they get to know you too. Volunteering with them. We may volunteer with people with disabilities at different programs. We may volunteer with them at sports programs that are modified to their needs. We may volunteer with them at music programs that are modified to their needs as well. Other times, we may volunteer with them by helping them with their academic work, or by teaching them basic life skills such as hygiene, chores, or handling money. Be a mentor for them and help them play sports in the same style as them. Adapt to their pace when playing sports with them. When they play an instrument or sing, use your skills in music to help them play or sing songs that they want to play. If people with disabilities are doing academic work and they need help with it, offer to help them if the teachers allow that. If a group of special needs students are learning about hygiene, chores, handling money, or other basic life skills, use the skills that your parents taught you growing up to help special needs students learn to achieve those basic life skills. Volunteering with people with disabilities is a perfect record to add to your college or job resumes. Accessibility. People with disabilities, particularly the ones with physical disabilities, need accessibility to make things more convenient for them. If someone in a wheelchair needs help going upstairs or downstairs, help them go upstairs or downstairs by using a ramp if available. If someone is born with no arms, help them carry their belongings from one place to another and open the door for them when entering or exiting places. Being their friend. The greatest gift you can give another person is to simply include them. There is more to including people with disabilities than just to include them. Including them means by making sure that they have someone to sit with during lunchtime and to engage in conversations when sitting at their lunch tables. Including them also means exchanging your phone numbers and social media accounts to keep in contact with people with disabilities when you're not seeing them in school functions. While you, your group of friends, and people with disabilities are outside of school functions, keep in touch with people with disabilities and invite them to watch a movie with you, go out to a restaurant, hang out at a beach, spend time at the park, or other places that you, your group of friends, and people with disabilities all enjoy. Be mindful that some people with disabilities may require extra assistance when hanging out at certain places. Some places such as concerts and sporting events may not be suitable for some individuals with autism. Amusement park rides may not be suitable for people who are physically disabled. The accommodation needs may be different for each individual with a disability. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, people with disabilities had spent most of their free time in their houses, alone, and at places with different types of restrictions, as opposed to the restrictions of the COVID-19 pandemic. People with disabilities spend time in public, often being supervised by their families, authorized guardians, or caregivers. People with disabilities rarely had the opportunity to spend time with friends. It is important that we include people with disabilities in our social lives while we are still young. Be sure to take pictures of you, your group of friends, and people with disabilities hanging out together so people with disabilities can make memories too. Post the pictures on social media if it's okay with everyone in the group of friends. Having parties is exciting for everyone. People with disabilities want to have parties and get invited to parties too. When you plan a party, be sure to invite people with disabilities to come. Make sure they have friends to interact with when you and them are at the party. When inviting some individuals with autism or other individuals with sensory sensitivities, please be sure to avoid flashing lights, screaming, or anything that can trigger their sensory sensitivities. When playing music, be sure to play the music at a lower volume to accommodate the sensory needs of certain individuals. When people with disabilities plan to have their own parties, always make an effort to show up. There were many articles in which people with disabilities asked for birthday cards because people refused to show up to their parties. Don't be the person who refuses to show up to a party of someone with special needs unless you have obligations with your work schedule or if there is a crisis happening with you or someone in your family. Transportation. Everyone needs to drive or ride a motor vehicle to get places quickly and conveniently. Many of us are excited about getting a driver's license and a car as much as we are excited about going to college, but some people with disabilities may never get the opportunity to drive a car due to their limitations. We have buses to transport them and their family or authorized guardians to drive them, but those two methods may not always be convenient for people with disabilities, their family, or authorized guardians. When you have your driver's license and a car, use your privilege to drive to help people with disabilities get rides to places where you and them are going to hang out at, to their jobs, and to drive them back to their houses. Thank you for watching my video. Remember everyone, delete the label, post the able, hashtag disability inclusion. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tips for Inclusion, the number 4. Check out my other videos, and share my videos with your friends, family, and everyone around you. Check out my website and social media